Welcome to the 42284 podcast, coming to you from Sunfish, Kentucky. We're in the She Shed Studios. We've got Brandon and Kyle. And Kyle, I'm going to let you introduce our guest for today.
Well, I appreciate that.
By her name.
By her name?
Yeah.
Fine lady. Been around her for so long, she's starting to feel like part of the family.
Think you'll keep her?
I think I'll keep her. Her name is Maxine White, but I call her Mom.
Mom, there you go.
Or Mama.
Mama. Yeah. It depends on what you're wanting, right?
Depends on if it's a good conversation, if it's like Mom, or if it's like Mama. Mama. It just all depends. Yeah. But this is my mom.
That's your mom. She been around you for what, 43 years now?
Yeah, most of my life.
Most of your life, yeah. She's responsible for the way you act.
I'm like
time,
Shelby.
right?
I remember the day I was born. I was sitting there on the front porch. Yeah, I act like her. She said I've took after a whole lot. Yeah.
We've got a debate going on the podcast, and we've been hearing both sides, and you're here to settle this.
Oh, Lord, between my children, right?
Yeah. Who is the favorite?
Well, I tell you, like I told Brandon, sometimes I don't like either one of them. So.
Are you hot?
Boy, it's burning up in here. I tell
Are
you
you hot?
what, y'all got this shed. It's smoking in here.
I noticed you were sweating.
My Lord, you all care if I get my T-shirt
No,
here?
pull that. What's that say?
What?
What's your shirt say?
Well, I just made one of my white T-shirts.
What's that say, Maxine?
Since I'm the favorite.
Does your shirt say, your T-shirt say Mom's favorite?
She got, this was a Christmas present. Mom got this for me for Christmas.
No, I did not.
Well, I mean, not like the family Christmas, just the one we had at my house with Mom.
Yeah, it was not. Yeah, without Kayla.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know,
yeah,
whoever.
Yeah,
it's just kind of a personal, a private family Christmas.
that's.
I feel better now, though.
Yeah, you look.
I appreciate it.
Oh, my Lord.
What is it?
So your maiden name is Ashley, correct?
Correct.
And you were born and raised in Bee Spring or somewhere over in that area?
No, Bee Spring.
Bee Spring? Mm-hmm. How many siblings do you have?
There's 11 of us.
Where do you fall in place at?
Let me see, where am I at?
I'm not asking if you're the oldest, by
baby
the way.
girl.
I'm the baby girl.
Baby girl, okay.
I have two brothers that's younger than
Okay.
I am.
And Ray Ashley is a brother, right?
Right, uh-huh.
Ray is funny.
Yes.
We need to get Ray on here.
Let me tell you a funny Ray story, since you brought it up here. I've heard this all my life. I don't know if Mom can confirm it or not. When Mom's oldest brother, Junior Sal, Jr., and Ray, I don't know, how far apart are they in age? Just a couple years.
Well,
probably.
I don't know if it's a couple of years. Yeah.
But Junior, he hit puberty early, and so everything that goes along with that, facial hair and body hair and whatever. And so, as I have been told, Ray was a little bit, jealous of that. He wanted that. He wanted to be like that. And so this is what I had heard. Who had the farm there beside y'all? Clement's dad. What was his name though? Mr.
Bert.
Meredith.
Mm-hmm.
And he had a corn crib.
No, that was
There was a corn crib that was fairly close, I think, to your all's house.
Okay, yeah.
And so Ray's asleep, and Junior slips out to the corn crib, and you know what old corn silks look like after they've dried?
Yeah.
And pulls a bunch of them corn silks out and glues them under Ray's arms. Now, like I said, I don't know if this is true or not. Junior Sal used to tell it, so if it's a lie, Junior told it.
I think it's
and
true.
Ray wakes up the next morning and he's like, "Oh my goodness!" Just like he grew that much arm hair overnight.
That's
but
funny.
now Ray's a dandy. He is hilarious. He is.
When I guess it was another brother owned Bee Spring Restaurant, right? Did you?
That was Damon.
Damon, and that's a brother too, right?
Yes. Uh-huh.
When Damon owned it, we would eat in there a lot for lunch when I was working at the co-op, and Ray'd come in there and sit, and he would tell story after story, and just, I mean, you just couldn't hardly eat.
Oh, he's got
his just, I mean, they were gut busting funny.
Yeah, he's got them. I don't know if you know this or not, but Ray and Dale are brother-in-laws.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that. Dale Loxton?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Ray's wife Lola and Dale's wife Pearl are sisters.
So, and they were Loxtons too, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
uh-huh.
I knew
Dale's
they
a
were-
Loxton, Pearl's Loxton, Mary Loxton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We
So
used to-
Ray and Dale have a bunch of good pop stories about their father-in-law.
Yes, yes.
we'll have to get a hold of some of those.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
So, how do you go from B Spring to marrying Gary White? I mean, that's the. Where did you go to school with him, or?
Yes. Actually, we went. He went Sunfish. I was Rock, and so in high school though, I didn't know Gary till my end of my junior year.
Is he older than you?
No, we were
Same age.
same age.
Okay.
Oh,
Well, he
and
always
was-
told me that he liked older women.
I'm a
Mom's-
month older.
Mom's born February the 19th. He's born March the 17th.
Oh, yeah.
Same year.
Yeah.
Yeah, older woman.
Yeah.
So actually, I seen him one day, and I thought, well, he's just the sweetest little thing I ever seen. So it went from there. We talked and everything, and so our first date was football homecoming, and I had talked to him on the phone all that summer, and then we went back to school,
Okay.
and so here he comes barreling in there, and he's in the old farm truck, and it's a black and white farm truck, and it has what's those things on the sides?
Cattle racks.
Yeah, and Kurt always made Gary wear his hair just skinned off. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So he gets out of the truck, and Mom looks at me and she said, "That's who you've been carrying on about." I said, "Yeah." I'd have climbed in there if he'd had a cow in the back,
Yeah.
So that was our first date, and then we dated. We went to prom together. We were actually king and queen of the prom.
Oh, really?
Yes, yes.
Royalty.
Royalty,
I come from
yes.
royalty.
Yeah.
And so then we married in June of '76, and we were married 20 years.
20 years.
Mhm.
So you all dated there a couple years, I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
Did what did you think when you first came up? Had you ever been over in this part before? Or?
Not that much.
Which, I mean, it's not really far. What is it, 15-minute
but
drive?
it is different.
Right, yeah.
actually.
You don't come over here from that area, from B Spring, unless you need to come over here, right?
It
I
was-
mean, you
it
don't
was
go to
different.
Bowling Green or Litchfield through here.
Well, I think he might have prepped her some through the courtship. I've heard a story, and I don't know if Mom will tell it or not. If she does, she can omit the names. There was a class that Dad had, and I think at that same time, Mom had study hall or something, and so she could go in. Was it an English class maybe or
I think-
something? And
yeah.
she could go in there and boyfriend and girlfriend with him back then, just be in
Yeah.
the class. And do you know what
Swoon.
I'm talking about when the pencil dropped?
Yeah, I
Or-
know what you're talking about.
Can you tell that, or
Um,
you just don't tell the name?
well, there was a guy sitting in front of us, and he had his shirt had rolled up, so his underwear was showing. And so Gary says,
Well, we know that problem.
I have that problem.
so Gary says, "Mac, I dropped my pencil. Will you get it?" And I said, "Yeah." And I'm bending down to get the pencil. About the time I got even with his underwear, Gary pops them. So Gary pops the underwear, and I'm just like, I froze. I mean, instead of jerking back or anything, I'm just there with my hand right there. And he turns around and he said, "That was not funny, Maxine." He said, "I don't know why you think that's funny." And Gary just bawled me out and said, "Well, Mac, I'm embarrassed for you."
Yeah, I don't think it's funny either. He took up for the old boy.
I just had, I'm just sitting there with this red face. Couldn't say a word because I'm like, oh my Lord, he thinks I popped his underwear.
Do we know the person?
Yeah, I'll tell you later.
Okay. Yeah.
But to this day, he probably thinks I popped his underwear.
I
So he
hope he's a
probably-
listener.
It was.
This
it,
is really what happened.
Yeah. Yeah, she's setting records straight.
but,
So before she come over here, there might have been a little. She might have been in training a little bit, not just totally shocked.
first time I met Kurt, oh my Lord.
How long did you all date before? I mean, did you meet Kurt pretty quick while
Well,
dating?
Yes, Gary thought I should come have dinner with him. So I walk in, and I was very, very shy. And so I sat down at the table, and Kurt made a comment about the biscuits, which I can't say. And
Well, he just said Mama cooked them with the same hand she wiped her in with. I don't think that's too off color, is it? Eat up. Dorothy makes them biscuits with the same hand she wipes her in with.
so I just sat there like,
I cannot wait to use that. I will use that.
Welcome to the family.
Yeah.
So Dorothy just kind of swatted at him, said, Kurt, shut up. And so then we went ahead and he said, would you like some milk? And I was very serious when I said it. I said, I just don't like that direct from the cow's milk. Oh, my gosh. That was not what I should have said. Oh, my gosh. He went on and on.
Dad brought a city girl in. Store-bought milk.
Just released. I was like, so get up to leave. And I said, Gary, I don't think I could ever come back here. It was just one thing right after you were around Kurt. And it was just, but I tell you what, he was a good father-in-law. He really was. And, Dorothy was great. And I had a good family with him. And
How much younger than Gary is Jimmy?
Pretty good, I think. I think Jimmy's just now. Dad would be 67, turning 68 next year, and I think, Mom's a lot younger than that.
Yeah. Good cover.
And I think, I don't know, is Jimmy 58, 57, 58?
I'd say 57.
Probably 10 years, I'd say.
So he was a kid when you started coming around, basically.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then Robin, too. Robin.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. See, Robin was...
Where's she? She's older. She's the middle.
She's
kid,
between
right?
Dad and
yeah,
Jimmy.
She's the middle.
Yeah,
right?
she's between.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, no, see, Beverly's the oldest. There's 4 of them.
Oh, I don't guess I remember there's 4 of them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Beverly moved to
yeah.
Louisville just right out of nursing school, or probably I guess when she was in nursing school, and she's been up there ever since.
She
When
was
she
Jan-
comes down and visits.
Yeah.
but
She
she's
was
lived
Jeanette's age. They went to school together.
I don't guess I remember there being 4 kids.
Yeah.
Huh.
So there's Beverly, Dad, then Robin and Jimmy.
Yeah.
And the most aggravated Kurt ever got is when I would say, Gary, let your hair grow out. You look so much better. And I just kept on him, so he did. And Kurt did not like it. He wanted that hair buzzed off.
Well, when you said that a while ago, I don't remember Gary with short hair ever.
Oh, in high school.
I mean, it was always kind of, it wasn't long hair, but it was long enough he would take his hat off up at the store and he was eating, and he would have a big hat ring in that hair, and I remember that.
Yeah, thick hair.
Yeah.
But so
Jet black.
He started letting his hair grow out, and of course Kurt said, well, that girlfriend of yours,
Yeah.
I used to tell Kevin Childress, you remember how Kevin's hair would grow out? And I said, you had wings that rivaled Dad's. Kevin had thick hair, didn't he?
Yeah.
One time, we decided to let our hair grow out, me and my cousin that we don't talk about. And,
Well, now he wore longer hair for
well, yeah.
a good long while.
Yeah, we both.
Short on top, but long
Yeah,
on the back.
like mullet
Yeah.
style back in the early 90s sometime. I went in down there at John A's and it was starting to curl up.
Oh, yeah.
He said, looks like a blankety blank hippie to me. Needless to say, hurt my feelings. I went to Bill Tom Monday or whenever.
Pretty quickly.
Bill Tom give me a flat top. The cousin, he just kept on growing it. You couldn't face him, but I'd had my feelings hurt over it. So you all got married. Did you all live over down here on Kurt White Road to start with, or did you all?
Right, yeah. Well, we rented a trailer for a little while. Kurt gave us an acre of ground.
Yeah.
Tell them where that trailer was. I bet they don't even remember being there because I didn't.
By Charles Jones.
Where Big Charlie's Tar Shop is.
Yeah,
now.
there was a trailer there that Mickey, his son, had lived in, and
Yeah.
we rented that for a while.
I don't remember that. I remember Mickey having a body shop there. I guess that's what that was built for.
I'd say that's what that building was built for.
but
But I don't remember anything other than the building.
I don't either. That's
I've
on-
heard Mom tell that, but I
There was
didn't
a
know.
trailer
I
there,
can't
yeah.
remember it being there.
Yeah, and then we built a house, and we lived there till Gary bought the Jack Durbin place. Yeah.
Where I
Colin
live
and I
now.
Yeah.
we didn't want to leave, but Gary got mad at us. He was gone. And so we took our covers and stuff, went back and stayed at the old house. He couldn't find us.
Really?
I had a whole basement to myself.
So you're talking the house down there by?
The Sea White Road
Yeah,
house.
Sea
Yeah.
White
Yeah.
Oh, I loved that house.
Yeah.
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 I remember y'all living
He
down there as
talked
a
us,
kid.
yeah, he, that's all I'd hear is, Mac, I want to buy that place up there. Mac, we'll move up there. You'll do good. And so he promised to build me some rooms on, so I moved up there.
Who'd y'all buy that from?
Jack and Tina.
But did they own that at the time?
Mm-hmm.
So Tina, my grandmother took care of Tina
Mm-hmm.
when they lived in Litchfield, and I would go over there and visit Tina. And I remember Jack as a kid too. I remember going to his funeral.
Jack
when he
used to
passed
take
away.
me out to lunch. I worked at Litchfield Deposit Bank.
Really?
Jack would call, and sometimes Tana would come, and sometimes she wouldn't.
Yeah.
But yeah, we went out and ate lunch together.
I always remember them as being sophisticated for some reason. Like not really. You
Well,
know.
was Miss Tana a teacher?
She's a teacher.
She was a teacher, but I mean, always her hair was perfect and everything in her house. You know, she kept knickknacks and figurines, and it was always just
So.
yeah. It was not sophisticated, wasn't maybe fancy is the word. But yeah, she had the telephone that she used that had the earpiece here and the mouthpiece curled up like that. You
Yeah.
know, and I always remember that as a kid. But yeah, my grandmother helped take care of her.
It kind of upset her when we built onto it. She said that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she thought we kind of ruined her house, but
Did you know that's a brick house?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I
I didn't know if you could
the house.
remember the house before the vinyl.
Yeah.
And I remember you all adding on to it,
Yeah.
where you go into the kitchen was the door on the end.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So y'all added the 2 rooms when you first walk in,
And
then
then
the back.
and then my bedroom and that other room in the back was added on.
yeah.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Yeah.
It was a small house
Yeah.
before
It's
then,
they
right?
added
So
on
you all
to each
needed
end.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They added on to each end of it.
Yeah.
He had to promise me that before I'd move up there, so.
Well, we're glad you did. Glad you migrated on up into Midtown Sunfish.
I guess Dad was working at the station when y'all first got married, probably.
He was.
And then when did you all get the first trucks? Was that when you was living down at the Bedfordstone house?
Yeah, we were still at the Bedfordstone house. He started out with a few, trucks. And then
Did he drive himself to start with?
He did not like to. He would drive it if he had to. He just said that people pulled out in front of him, and it would make him so nervous. He said that he didn't like just driving it.
Yeah.
But he,
I believe that cab over at 4300 was the first 2 trucks they had.
Were
I
they?
think I've always heard that.
Kurt had old Max
Yep.
before then.
Yeah, I think so.
So Kurt had trucks.
Yeah.
I think he had a truck, didn't he?
he
I don't
got
think
one.
he had
got
trucks.
one
I think
later
he
Just,
had-
on.
just that one Mac.
Yeah.
I think
Later
he
on.
had a truck.
Gary, he bought it, and Gary took care of it for him. But yeah.
So you all had the trucking company, Long Acre Farms.
Uh-huh.
Where did that name come from? Do you remember? Is that just something y'all thought up, or?
Who did
Bobby,
you?
I think, wasn't it? What
I
I've been
can't
told.
remember who.
I think
Somebody
I
came
think
up
Aunt
with
Bobby
it.
come up with it.
Yeah.
Roy's
Bobby.
Well,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. I don't know
To
why,
tell you
or
the truth, I don't know.
I think maybe just this farm up here
Was so long going down the
down
road.
the road. It looks just like which it is kind of deep, but
Yeah.
going down the road, that farm was just seemed forever. I think Long Acre. I think.
I always wondered where that came from.
Yeah.
Something I thought about the other day, you just mentioned that farm. Do you know that white well casing out in front of your all's house in that farm across the road?
Yes.
I do. I hit it on a 4-wheeler one time.
Yep, it's gone now.
Really?
Yeah, it got disced over
Really?
with a big tractor and disc.
Yeah.
Who done it? You?
Not me.
Huh.
You're a renter.
Oh.
Or work hand of your renter, I think.
So John A. told me one time, and the way he talked, I think that was the well that they were set up to drill for crude oil right there, and hit a gas well instead, and that thing blew up and burnt the rig down, and
Really?
I heard that. I
yeah,
heard that.
and they weren't drilling for gas yet up in Shrewsbury, all the wells up in there.
Mm-hmm.
And it scared them, and so they drove a cedar tree down in that thing and poured, I forget how many yards of concrete on it to finally seal it off. But he always talked like that was if they'd ever drill there.
Well, that casing was up 3 foot or whatever.
Yeah.
It was up.
Yeah.
It's gone now. It's not. Which I don't know if at the ground if it got rusted or.
Yeah.
But it could be sealed off down in there. I don't know.
Yeah, I've always been able to tell you that. I just thought about it.
Was you out there when I hit it?
I don't remember.
I don't. I don't.
Was you on a
Brandon, you're the
four-wheeler,
one
you
that.
said?
No, I was on a 4-wheeler.
Okay.
I was on that Warrior, and I was riding a wheelie down through there and hit that dude, and just luckily it just kind of threw me down, and that back tire cocked up on it and then come on down. But yeah, could have been a bad crash.
I may or may not have hit one with the bush hog up when I lived in Grayson County.
Yeah.
And choked about a 70-horse tractor from running wide open to an immediate stop.
Just shut her down.
Shut her down. I thought, what was that? Backed up as oil or gas oil casing about 16 inches high. I mean, it choked her down. But
You was talking about earlier about Mom and meeting Papa. I've heard a story about one of the first times that he let her help in the garden. Do you care to tell that?
did you cut some stuff down? Or?
Well, no.
Of course,
it
she
No,
was this
Gary-
city girl again. You know, had never really been in a garden spot.
No, see the thing it was, I had older sisters and stuff, so I didn't do a lot of that. I didn't know how to cook.
She's pampered basically,
No,
Yeah.
it's just that they did it, and you know, and so
and that's it.
Basically,
they did.
We're gonna have to look pampered up in the dictionary here, Maxine.
It's totally not the same thing. They did it. I didn't.
They did it for me. I'm not pampered. They just did it for me.
But for some reason, Gary thought I needed to know all this stuff. He thought I needed to learn how to cook and put out a garden and can and all that stuff, which I never did can. So he fixed a place out there and said, let's just start with the onions. And so I said, okay, I can do this. So I'm out there.
Which, let me interject here. I don't know how well you knew Kurt, but have you ever seen the movie Kingpin, where Randy Quaid's the Amish guy?
Yeah.
And he said, you English, everything y'all do, we do 1.5 times more. I think that was Kurt's philosophy. Papa,
Amish
yeah,
shit.
anything that he done, like if we're going to plant a garden, we're going to plant a 1.5 acre garden. And if we're going to set rows, we're going to string them, and they're going to be perfect.
Yeah.
You know, and so that was kind of everything that he done was above and beyond. If most people had 4 strands of barbed wire, he's going to have 6. And
Yeah.
so I just wanted to say that before you go to telling about,
My
so you'll
onions.
understand why this didn't set so well.
So,
Not to give away the ending, but
so I'm out there and I've got my onions, and it sounds like I didn't have good sense, but I thought the little green things was the roots. So,
You turned them upside down.
so I'm just there and I've got it all, so neat. I mean, I was brushing the dirt back, and so I was sticking those onions down through there. And Kurt comes up and he just stands and stares at me. So I know I've done something. I just don't know what I've done.
I know it's wrong, but I don't
He
know what
said,
part's wrong.
What you doing, girl? And I said, Gary said I had to plant these onions, so I'm planting these onions. He said, who are you going to plant them for, China? And I'm just like looking at him, and I'm like, what? He said, why you got them turned that way for? And I said, it's not the root. He said, he just walked off with me. So, the first biscuits.
But did he come see you later that night? Is that what I've heard? Did he get mad?
Well, he come apologize because he said.
Well, did he apologize or what did he say? I thought you had told me that he come later that evening, knocked on the door, and Mom come to the door, and he's like, if you want to help in the garden tomorrow, you can. So that was Kurt speak for sorry.
Yeah,
He wasn't really, I'm going to say I'm sorry, but
that's closest thing to an
That's
apology
close
you
as
was
you're
gonna
get.
get.
That's what I've heard. I don't know if
Yeah,
that's how it went down or
Yeah,
not. But
that was Kurt.
if you want to tomorrow.
After the biscuits comment that I just heard, and some of the many stories I've heard, wonder how many times Dorothy wanted to hit him with a rolling pin.
Oh God.
Daily.
She just needs to break a rolling pin. now.
Multiple times daily, I'd say.
I was just like, just sit there.
Have you ever
like,
seen any pictures of my mom and Papa when they were married or coming up? I'll find something and show you. It was the same pose every time.
Have you seen the pictures on Facebook lately or anything where they, the lady posts pictures? She's like, "This is every pose my husband takes with me," and he's just there. The husband's always just standing there, about half smirky smile. And, he'll be like with a newborn baby, half smirky smile. Christmas, half smirky smile, and all of a sudden he's holding a fish and he's grinning like he
Grinning from
won
ear to ear.
$1 million.
No, I haven't
Like
seen that.
I think we all do that. So what about when you made the biscuits for the first time?
well, Gary decided that on Sundays I need to fix homemade biscuits. Well, I didn't. Mom always did that. I didn't have to fix biscuits, so I said, "Well, okay, let me go get some flour." So I bought all-purpose flour.
Yeah.
Because in my thinking, it was for all purposes. So.
Yeah.
Any purpose you wanted.
So I get it, and I have it mixed up, and I try to make them look pretty, and I put them on my pan, and I watch them, and I knew I was going to have to try to fix some gravy afterwards, so I was already tore all to
Yeah.
pieces. So, so finally I said, "Gary, I don't know what to do. These biscuits are just laying here."
They weren't rising. Huh?
And he walks in there, and he said, "Mac, what kind of flour did you get?" And I said, "All purpose." He said, "Oh my gosh, do you not know?" He said, I said, "Gary, all purpose. It does everything." He said, "Well, are them biscuits?" So That was my biscuit story. Bless his heart. But I learned to cook.
I made pancakes one time with all-purpose flour.
Did you?
Made tortillas, basically. Yeah, they were sweet tortillas.
While you were learning to cook, did he slip down to Mama's a time or two before you had to put your foot down? Did you know Dad was scared of storms, by the way? I didn't know this either till you hear the story. You'll figure this out.
When he left you out in the field?
No, when he went down there to eat and you said you wasn't cooking no more until he was going down to Mama Dorothy's and eating and coming home and wasn't eating
He'd
supper.
say, I'm not hungry. I'm like, well, why are you not hungry?
This is like John Lindsay and his mama.
Right.
Yeah.
And from what I've heard, Mom said the next time you come in and don't eat supper, I'm not cooking anymore. And so it goes good for a while, but then he comes in one evening and he's not hungry. And she said, well, why are you not hungry? And he said, it's a bad storm coming up, so it's got my stomach all messed up. She said, I got to thinking about that. She said, I bet he'd eat down there at Dorothy's.
That's true, yeah. But I did know, I did have to
Because I
learn
never knew of any storm
storm.
storm dirt. No butterflies.
He really did. Remember that time we left you out and it came up a storm?
Well, that's what Brandon was talking about here a while back. We was up there with
He
that
took
baler.
off and all of a sudden he remembered you was out there and he had to go get you.
When we was testing that baler out and this bad storm come through that uprooted all them trees there between Uncle Gene's house and blowed the front doors off the shop. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
I remember that's the one that we Cooter and I.
Yeah,
were
Maybe
at
it was
the
you
schoolhouse.
talking.
Yeah,
Maybe it was you
schoolhouse.
talking about it. I couldn't remember which one of it
blew
was.
your dad's doors
They
down.
blew the
didn't
back door in on Dad's shop.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'd run out to open the gate. We had a hot wire around that then to let them out. And they just took off. And I'm running,
Yeah, he got left call out there.
They call that the co-op guys when I was working up there. They'd always call that the June 4th storm.
Yeah.
It just tore up the whole area
Yeah.
down here.
Well, that little patch of trees between Uncle Gene's and the house, I mean, it uprooted several of those.
Yeah.
And like you said, blowed that door down, blowed them shop doors off. It's a bad storm.
Yeah. Yeah, straight line winds. Everybody thought it was tornado, but it was so widespread. It was just straight line winds.
Yeah.
But what about when's the first time you met Gene? Do you remember that?
Gene White?
Yeah.
See. I'm not really for sure about that.
He come in with his shirt unbuttoned, his gold
He's
chains.
always with his shirt unbuttoned and his gold chains.
When he moved up here, they got tight.
Did they?
Oh, they got close.
Yeah.
She almost ate up there one time.
Really?
Yeah, they got so close. She was close.
Was it a boiled steak?
She was close to eating some vegetable soup up there one night. But ended up she didn't.
Stirred
Ended
up
up she didn't.
made
But
with
she
sweat and
cigarette ash.
Cigarette
She
ash.
just about did.
He was something else, I tell you.
He did bring her in an air conditioner one time though.
He did.
We didn't have air at the house when we moved up here.
And Gary kept saying, I want to wait and put central air in there, Max. Didn't just wait, let's just wait. And
Yeah, everything was just wait. I want to wait and get a ride lawnmower. So just push
Oh,
mow.
yeah.
I want to wait and get central air. Just don't have an air conditioner.
Yeah, let's not go. What the window unit cost back then?
Well, I think OG can give $10 for that.
That's what I was
at a yard
going to say.
sale or
Let's not,
something.
let's
It
not
was-
spend
it was
25
used.
on the window unit. We're saving that
We're
for
saying,
central
we're
heat
going to
there.
wait. Let's wait.
he dared Gary to go sleep in there. He told Gary he could not sleep in there.
Yeah.
He said, I'll sprinkle flour every night to make sure that you don't quit.
Checking a foot track.
Speaking of lawnmowers, I do have a story about a lawnmower. Okay, y'all know the Whites. Okay, and unfortunately, I have become one. But, we had that acre of ground down there, and Gary, Mac, you do the mowing, and no, you need to mow. I mean, he was always making it farther and farther, and I was just pushing. And so finally, I told him, Gary, if you don't give me a ride more, I am not mowing anymore. Well, he comes in with this mower that I think was the very first one ever made, and he puts it out there, and he said, okay, Mac, you do that. There's your ride more, quit griping. So I'm out there mowing, and the steering wheel comes off.
It's a snapper.
No.
Wasn't it?
It was a steering wheel.
Oh, was it steering wheel? I thought it was
Yeah,
snapper.
lost the steering wheel.
Okay.
So I get it stopped after I went over a tree he had planted, which he was not happy with me, but it wasn't my fault. So I go to the garage and said, Gary, the steering wheels fell off. And what do you want me to do? And he said, I'll fix it. He went and put a vice grip on that thing, tightened it down, and he said, now, Mac, look, you just put it here, you put it there. You can mow this
With a vice grip instead of a
with a
steering
vice
wheel.
grip, yeah. So I did try that for a while, and then I thought, I ain't doing this. He buys everything with them trucks. So I went up to the lumber company, and I get me a mower. And so I come back, and I hollered at Gene Autry. I said, Gene, get over here and help me unload this. No, Maxine, Gary don't know you wouldn't got that. I said, I don't care, Gene. Get over here and help me.
He's going to be an
No.
accomplice.
Yeah.
He said, well, will you not tell him I helped you unload this? I said, Gene Autry, get over here and help me unload this. So we get it on, we put I think it was a plow or something. We get that unloaded. So I'm just out there mowing the yard, and Gary comes up. He just stands there for a minute, and he looks at me, and he motions me over there. Mac, where'd you get that? I said, at the lumber company. Gene Autry come across that road, tore off to pieces. He thinks she made me, Gary, she made me help her unload that.
Told on himself. Couldn't stand it.
He said, I didn't want to, but she made me unload that. And Gary just stood there and looked at me, and I said, if you want this yard mowed, this mower stays. So,
Well, didn't you,
that's what got my
before
mower.
you went and got it, didn't you boycott mowing for a little while? And-
Oh, yeah. 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 It kind of got, Gary would not mow. And so it was high. And so Dorothy come out there, and she's real upset. She said, Maxine, you've got to mow the yard. I said, Kyle's going to get snake bit if you don't. We all had to take care of Kyle.
Yeah.
And I said, well, tell your son to get me a mower. And she said, no, just mow it before that kid gets snake bit. So,
Well, the baby never got snake bit, though, did he?
no, and I got my
Close.
mower.
Close. It was
Close.
close a time or two.
No, I,
Well, actually, I did get snake bit one morning.
you're such a sport.
I did.
Oh, yeah.
Down here at the house.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell that one? It's jumping forward a few years, but it goes along with the content.
Well, I was always very overprotective of my kids.
Well, we never noticed.
So
We never noticed.
I would stop and check on Kyle. And so one day, well, he would go, Kayla, he would say, there's Mom and Mini-Me. What y'all want today? You know. So we'd come up on the porch, and there was a snake laying there. And I am terrified of snakes. And so...
Bill told us. Yeah, Uncle Bill told us.
Different
So-
snake encounter this time.
So I scream, and Kyle's asleep on the couch, and he jumps up, and he said, what is wrong with you? And I said, oh, my Lord, Kyle, there's a snake. And he said, Mom, it's just a baby, and he went to get it, and it bit him, and he slung it. Well, I freak out, you know. He's going to die from a snake bite, you know. So I said, Kyle, you know, you got to come home with me so I can watch you. And he said, Mom, leave me alone. And so I'm hysterical, so he gets mad, and it was that little S10, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So he zips over to the house, and he's mad. So he said, I'm going to the basement. Won't you leave me alone? And so...
Me and my snake bit finger.
Can I get a lollipop, Mom?
That was a mom, not a mama.
Yeah, a popsicle, Mom.
So I cover him up. And I don't know why I covered him up, but I covered him up. So Kayla and I, we were sneaking down the steps to check on him. And he looks at us and he said, well, what does Mom and Mini-Me want now? And he said, and I said, oh my gosh, Kyle, you must have a feeling of your sweat. He said, if you hadn't put all this cover on me. So he just rips me up one side and the other. And I said, listen, little boy, you don't talk to me like that. And I'm never going to worry about you again. And I
That
just,
was a lie.
Yeah.
and so you just, you know, just rah, rah, rah. So he, after a while, he gets up and he goes home. And about 6:37, he called me that night.
Probably.
Mom, my hand's swollen. I said, oh my, I don't know why I always
And it wasn't, right?
And I said, oh my gosh, are you okay? I think I have a fever too. Mom, I just don't know what to do. He said, do you think it was poison? And so he goes on, and so I'm just like tore all to pieces. And he said, yeah, not going to worry about me and check on me again. I'm fine. Go back to
Well, I believe I remember a story. Didn't you get on to him one time? You didn't know where he was at, and he got started leaving you notes in the house for where he was going.
probably.
Going to the bathroom.
I got beat a
Going
smart
to
aleck.
shower.
Be back after a while.
Be back after a few
You mean beat
minutes.
a little brat? Is that what you mean?
Have I told you all about me disappearing off the face of the earth and them getting the search party after me when I was a kid?
No.
I spent the night down the road, and they got up to go cut wood or whatever they did, like at 6 that morning. Well, I just took off and walked back home. When I got up there, Dad had added on the side of that house, and there was a pool table out there. And I got in that room, but the door that went on into the main part of the house was locked. And I didn't want to wake him up because it was like 6:30 in the morning. So I just went over there on the other side of the pool table, and there was a couch, and I laid down on it, went to sleep. I woke up, it was 11:30 or 12 o'clock, I guess. Walk in the house, and Mom, where have you been? And I'm like, right here
On the couch.
And they had, I mean, there were people, they were walking up and down the creeks,
Yeah.
and they were calling around and stuff.
Yeah.
And when you looked out that door from inside the house, the pool table was so tall you couldn't see the
you.
couch on
Yeah.
the other side. And so I was asleep on it. Oh man, I got grounded over that and everything.
Got in trouble.
Yeah, I mean, she was mad, but yeah, they had I think there's 8 or 10 people out looking for me. And I've been feet from them, sound asleep.
I walked to the house one time from my mom,
Yeah.
Dorothy's.
You walked up here where you live now?
No,
When we
no,
lived
that
in
was when I was a
Paul.
lot older. I walked to Brownsville one time, but that's a different story. No, when we lived at the Bedfordstone house, I was down there at Mama and Papa's, and I wasn't a lot going on, so I walked back to the house, and you said Papa was not.
I called down there, and they were like tore all to pieces, and they were looking for you, like they never got a hold of them. And here he come. He jerked you up, and he said, "I'll whip." I said, "Kurt, you can't whip him." He said, "I can too." And I said, "Okay." And, so he said he's going down there to apologize to his mama, and I said, "Okay." And I said, "Well, just don't whip him hard." And he said, "I ain't gonna whip him."
Don't beat him.
Did he ever get whippings as a kid? I mean, I don't.
He says he did, but he didn't.
I didn't figure so.
He didn't.
Mom had a belt.
Oh my gosh, this is not true.
There was a company named Agner that made women's
Oh,
accessories.
I remember Agner.
You remember
Yeah,
Agner
yeah,
stuff?
mhm. I think that may still be a thing.
It could be.
Or
I
they
don't-
have come back, or maybe it's the vintage stuff.
I hope not for young kids today, but
It's rough, huh?
She had a belt that had metal A's all the way around it, and I don't know. It seemed like that I'd got a few whippings with
It
that.
seems like you made it up.
I wouldn't swear to it or
I tell you
anything,
what I
but
did do. And Kyle was not a mean kid, but sometimes he was mischievous. And I laid that belt on the chair, and I said, "Either you straighten up, or I'm going to put some A's on that bed." So he tells everybody that I actually did it when I never touched him.
well, it seemed like it did a time or
In
two.
your
I,
mind.
You know, I don't think I ever got really whipped with a belt. Now, I got whipped, but I don't know that I ever really got
I
a
don't
belt.
think I did. Just a time or two. Not with the Agner belt, maybe just a regular smooth one.
I remember getting one from Dad. That's all it
Dad
took.
whooped me one time.
That's
with
all
the
it
church.
took.
Remembered it too.
Yeah, I remember that.
I got whooped at Republic Diesel in Louisville.
Good.
I don't know about yours, but I deserve mine.
I did too. I did too, but one's all it took.
Memorable.
Believer. A
Now-
believer.
You're like Bill Engvall. He said he had ADD one time.
Yeah. Cured.
Yeah, cured.
Yeah. I got whippings, but I don't. Dad just threatened me with the belt. And,
Just
hand.
swat
Yeah.
your-
So mom was a social worker, and I don't know. Sometime in the late '80s, they started taking corporal punishment out of schools and saying it's better off. You're better to time out your kids
Right.
and this and that. And so it kind of fell off around the house. She'd put me in time out, and I hated it. Just whip me.
Just go ahead and get it
Just
over
whip
with.
me.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
horrible. I'd
Mom,
sit-
Mom would ground me from stuff. I mean, go ahead and whip me. I'll take a whipping over a week without a four-wheeler
Sure.
any day of the week.
Sure.
You know.
I'd just sit there and think of stuff to do next time, But
It was planning time.
Yeah, yeah.
Planning period.
Dad never bought into that playing to that timeout plan. He'd get you and bring your feet off the ground, boy, if he ever got you. But I would go to my cousin's house that we don't talk about, and they would drag that belt out after him. And let me tell you, his mama Leo whipped him down with the belt. After seeing that, you just had to threaten me with it. I was good. That's enough for me.
It's just harder on you than it is me. I don't know.
I think she enjoyed it. She'd tear him up.
Oh,
But I
man.
did not whip either. I might have swatted this child, but No, I did not touch him with that Agner belt. But you know what I told him? If I know what he's going to tell everybody, I should have got him.
Maybe you owe him a few with it.
Don't
Yeah.
worry, Kayla's never got a whipping.
No, she
Don't
has.
even worry about that.
Really?
Don't
No,
even think
she
about it.
hasn't.
Mm-mm.
I can
No.
tell.
Yeah.
Kyle aggravated that child to death about being adopted. And,
We didn't notice, did we, Brandon? I heck,
Make for great stories,
yeah, I almost believed it.
She come in there crying, and she was about 4, I guess. Mom, am I really adopted? Kyle told me I was, but not to say anything to you. And all this. I said, no, Caleb, my Lord, no. I said, just say stuff back to him. Don't cry, just say stuff back to him. So she sat down there at the table, and she had her hand like this, and Kyle comes in. Hey, baby. He counted off a few, in, like
Spanish numbers? Oh.
He said, have you learned how to do the rest? And she stared at him and she said, I know speak English. I told her, yeah, so he just said, oh, okay, like that. But Kyle and I had some adventures, didn't we?
Mm-hmm. Yes, we have.
I'll tell you one about the cow's tail. If you was around Gary, Gary took his time at everything he did. So he come in and he said, we're going to go up to the barn and I'm going to ban this calf. And I said, Gary, that calf is too big. No, we can do it. So we get up there and I said, Colin will take the front of it. It was a big calf. I said, we'll take the front and you take the back. Well, Gary's over there chewing on that, little thing and talking and everything. And I said, Colin, you're not doing your part. This calf's killing me. And he said, Mom. And I said, Kyle, press down on it. He said, no, Mom, you need to turn around. And I turned around, and he's holding the calf's tail in his hand.
Pull it off?
Well, I was having a little trouble with my end, so I don't know if you remember that Uncle Gene barn or not. It had the side sheds with the mangers.
Yeah.
I thought, well, I'll just wrap this around one of the manger boards, and it got the bucket and popped his tail off. So it was just Mom holding the head then.
And he was just like, Mom. So, well, I just died laughing, and I turned to
Of course, you know what that'll do to them at the market.
And
That's a bobtail now, and I
Yeah.
get in trouble for that from Dad.
Gary just stands there and looks at us. He said, you know what? I don't have one. I'm not calling his name. I got 2. You people don't know how to do anything. But we banned that calf. I don't know if it did good or not. But
Brandon, we'd be out here cutting calves. And I'd grab his tail and hold it up. And by the time he'd bend down, I'd throw that end of that tail across his lip like a mustache. He gets to fighting it.
He liked that, didn't he?
Yeah, he get to fighting it. We grab that tail and throw him out of gear.
Tell them about when we was going to boycott, when we was feeding them steers that we had them 100-pound sacks of feed. We'd have to double up on.
yeah.
Wasn't we going to quit doing it? And,
Yeah, I was quitting doing stuff all the time, but I never got to do it.
well, what'd Dad do to remedy it, though, for us?
Well, I come in. I did.
We couldn't lift 100 pound
Yeah.
each of us, so we'd have to double up on them.
Right,
She'd get on one end, I'd get on the other. And we was feeding them out under at Bridge Bottom. You know how muddy
Yeah.
that thing gets.
Yeah.
And we was lagging them things. Of course, had to park top of the hill or you get hung up.
Yeah.
And we carried them things all the way down in that bottom,
Oh, good Lord.
feeding them steers.
So I come marching in there, and I said, "Okay, Gary, that's it. I'm quitting. I'm not lifting another one. I quit." He said, "Mac, what's wrong?" I said, "What do you mean? There are 100-pound bags of feed, and it's killing us." He said, okay, it's all right. He said, "Mac, hand me that phone." I never got the phone himself. I always had to hand it to him. He said, dial was from Brian's number for me. So I dialed it. He said, he was sitting there a minute. He said, "Hey, Paul, yeah." He said, "You know that feed I just ordered in 100-pound bags?" He said, "Put them in 50." He said, "Mac, he said, "Put them in 50." He said, "Mac's having a little bit of that."
Well, he took care of us, didn't he?
That's what he said.
Such a big heart.
Yeah.
He hung up the phone. He
Pack them twice.
That's right.
hung up the phone and said, "See, Mac, I told you to take care of it." And I just, like, whatever. And just,
I remember feeding when I was a kid. We'd get it over to mill at Jake's, and it being 100-pound bags.
Yeah.
And just, it's all you can do to wrestle that stuff.
yeah.
And, when John A. take feed over there and get it ground, there'd always be like a half a sack when you got at the end of it. It wouldn't fill one all the way up. Well, we get to that, I'd be so glad to
Yeah,
get that.
so
Be-
happy.
So yeah, I'd be like, 40, 50 pounds. It'd be a lot easier. I never could. I thought, why don't we split this in half? Of course, it wasn't nothing for him to grab 100 pounds, but us
Right.
running around there 12, 13 years old, 100 pounds a bunch.
Well, I know why we didn't do it. Is way up around an extra quarter or something for the bag.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
what it was
Yeah.
with John
Oh,
I's
yeah.
extra bag.
Yeah, I guarantee
And
it.
we'd have to save him sacks.
10 cents.
Yeah, or
probably
10
cents.
I said a quarter. Maybe it's 10 cents.
10
or
cents a
whatever.
bag,
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah.
I ain't had cows in 10 years now, I guess. But the last bunch of cows I had, I saved sacks. But I never refilled them. But I had the awfulest bunch of sacks just because that's what we did.
That's what you do.
Yeah.
You was talking about working them calves. That made me think of a story. We was down there working some calves one day, and do you remember where the head chute and that little corral was?
Yeah, there's the Johnny Cap out
Yep,
place in the back.
I mean, it was nice. It was
y'all
nice
had
setup.
good setup.
Dad had that back surgery, so he was in his brace down there. And Mom always loaded the needles. If we were worming pink eye, made sure all those, and was keeping all those together. That sort of thing. There was somebody usually down there that was working in the back, and then we was getting them up. It's a 2 or 3 or 4 person ordeal. So that corral, I don't know if you remember that corral that come up, and then you turned them back around and went into that little barn.
Yeah.
And then that's where they come out for the head chute.
Yeah, I remember the little barn.
The little barn, okay. Well, I was in that pen between the little barn and like where you would go out if you were going to turn them out in the field.
Yeah.
And I don't know exactly what I'd done, but this cow, she is stirred up. I don't know if it was a calf, maybe it was a new calf or something.
Yeah.
It was in there, and maybe we'd got them separated or whatever. But I was trying to drive her, and she turned on me. And here she come, head down, snorting, pawing, and I mean, I think she's going to get me. Well, we always kept some troughs in that. I don't know if you remember that or not, where we fed. So this pen is kind of split in half with these troughs, and I'm on the right-hand side. And so where do I go? I'm going to run to Mom. That's just, I mean, I'm 10, 11 years old. I have cows after me. I'm going to run to Mom. So I take off running toward Mom. And right before I get to Mom, about 15 feet or something, I make a left where these troughs are. I was like, oh, well, I'll just go this way. Well, the cow
went to Mom.
She turns her bead from me toward Mom.
Yeah.
So Mom's trying to climb this gate to get away from this cow, and just as she got her foot up and on top of the gate, that cow just bam into that gate, and here goes Mom toppling off the gate, hits the ground, stuck a needle through her nose,
Really?
bleeding like a stuck hog.
Well, you never say stuck.
Well, blood going everywhere. I mean, not that you were a hog, there's just a lot of blood going everywhere. And here comes Dad waddling. Do you remember when he would wear that brace? He couldn't
that
bend
turtle
over
shell.
there. He comes waddling over there. And what did he say?
Well, Mac, I hope you didn't bend that needle. That's the best one I got. And tell him what you done.
I don't remember.
Oh, I do. You come be bopping through there. Mom, if I'd had a movie camera, we could have won
$10,000.
$1,000.
That was my thing back then when America's Face Home
Yeah,
videos
oh, yeah,
come on.
everybody wanted to win.
Yeah. If I'd had a camera, we could have won $10,000.
And I'm laying there, and I said, I'm dying, you all. I might have brought my bag. Does nobody care?
One I was worried about a camera, one of them was worried about a needle.
That's exactly what he said to me. Ben, he just looks down like that, and he said, Mac, I hope you didn't bend that needle because it's the best one I got. I'm like, oh my Lord.
So I had cows in the barn one time, and I had run them in there, and I was moving them from one farm to the other. I don't think I had 35 or 40 in there in the calves, and the kid's mom was helping me.
Mm-hmm.
And I told her, I said, stand here at this gate and keep them facing the front of that barn. Don't
Right.
let them look at this gate. They look at it, take something,
Shoot.
thrash them,
Yeah.
whatever. So I go around there to get the trailer door open, and I come back around, and there's one cow standing there looking at her. She's just barely flimsing that stick past his nose. I said, you better hit that thing across the nose with that tobacco stick. Well, I don't want to hurt it. And about that time, boom. And it jumped that gate with her on the other side and all 30 in the calves over the top of her. And I thought, well, she's dead. And so I get all the dust cleared and all manure clear. And when I get back there, they have rode that gate down, and she is laying under it like that. That head turned sideways. I mean, just plastered with manure. And I said, I guess you didn't want to hurt that cow, did you?
She didn't care to hurt you.
Oh, get up. Yeah, get up. They get after you, boy. They'll hurt you.
They will, yeah.
Yeah.
There was so much of that, though, thinking back. Mom's 30-year-old woman or whatever. I'm a 10-year-old kid. We don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We don't know. And Dad's running 125 cows and just like we're expert farm hands. Go do this. You know what I mean?
Well,
we're down there fencing on the creek and we don't know what to do.
Yeah.
We're down there feeding steers or whatever. Well, we don't know we're back there feeding hogs. Well, did you not know this one had a ear swelled up? Well, I don't know. What's a bunch of hogs back there? You know?
He always shake his head, wouldn't he?
Oh yeah. We got that little Toyota truck hung up hundreds of times.
That little blue one?
No, that little white one.
one,
Yeah, that
yeah.
little white one. No, he
Yeah.
wouldn't let us drive that blue one, but that white one, we took it everywhere. And if it'd save us 10 steps, we'd try it. I mean, it didn't matter. It's going to take us a half a day to get it out, but we would try it.
Tell him about when that old blue truck, what we did.
Tell him.
Apparently, we had to fix our own entertainment because Gary he would leave. You do this today. You do this today. So that blue truck you got. So we was coming back from feeding, and for some unknown reason, I ripped it as fast as I could coming through there, and I slammed on my brakes because part of that's concrete and part of
In
it's
the big
grass.
shop.
In the big
Yeah.
shop.
Oh.
And I said, I bet you can't get that close, Kyle.
To the end of the concrete.
To the end of the concrete.
Yeah, y'all were going to just slide
So-
up to it.
Well, so we took turns doing that. Not thinking. So we get out and there's
I'm about 12.
There's black marks all over, and I said, "Oh my gosh, he's gonna kill us, Kyle." So I said, "What do we do?" So I said, "I know. We'll pull the truck around to the other side of the house. Now don't lie, but you don't admit nothing."
Yeah.
Don't tell the truth.
So he comes in and he is mad. He's like, "Mac, do you know who's been out here in this garage today?" And I said, "Well, why? How would I know, Gary?" And he said, "There's black marks. You wait till I find out who's done that. There's just rah, 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 rah." And I said, "Oh, Gary, it can't be that bad." And me called like, "Okay, we don't know." But there was. I think I got closer though.
Probably. Your legs would reach the pedals.
Skill.
Although when we used to double up on the old blue truck. She'd drive and I'd shift.
I didn't know how to drive. I didn't know how to. He took me. Where was Mr. Wilson's and left me.
Randall
that time.
Wilson's, yep.
He kept telling me I
Flips.
need to learn how to drive it, and I said I don't want to. So we went down there. I don't know which truck we went down there in. He said, "Mac, ride down there with me." I don't know why I always believe things that they told me. So we got in their truck and went down there to Mr. Wilson's, and now we drove the old blue truck down there.
I think it was the blue truck.
And
the
then
best
we
there.
switched. He got in another truck.
Well, he was picking up something down there that Randall was putting a hitch on, or just something.
Yeah.
So he gets in that truck and he's just like, "Okay." He said, "You'll drive it, or you won't get home. You'll walk." And he just left. And so I'm sitting there thinking, well, I don't know what to do. And Kyle said, "We'll show you, Mom." He said, "You do drive, and he'll see
tell
you."
you-
And he said, "I'll say clutch it. When I say clutch it, because I'm going to change gears." That's how we got that truck back.
I's the shifter, she's the gas and the pedals.
Yeah. You're talking about telling Kyle not to tell the truth, or not to lie to him, but don't admit to anything. When I was, I think 13, we went to Colorado one summer, me and Mom and Dad, and Dad had a little GMC Sonoma, and he put a camper on it and a bed in it, and we would take turns riding in the back out there. And so we got into Kansas, and Dad was tired. He said, "I'm gonna get back there and drive, and you and your mom, or ride in the back, and you and your mom drive." So he gets back there. So we were going down the road. Me and Mom swapped places going down the road, and I drove hundreds of miles. She said, "Don't you tell your dad I let you do this," which there was a window right there. He was out, you know.
Yeah.
And so I got in there somewhere through Kansas and took a nap in the back. And then Dad drove, and as we got into Colorado, Mom got in the back, and we got up there, and me and Dad swapped places. He said, "Don't you tell your mom I let you drive." They both let me drive.
I won't,
couldn't
Dad.
tell either
I
one.
won't, Mom.
Yeah. I was 13 years old, driving, running 80 across Kansas.
Looking through the steering wheel, not over.
Yeah, oh, you could flip it down. You could really, you get her scooted up close enough you could see. But I drove everywhere without my license. I mean, my first wreck, I was 15.
Yeah.
And, I mean, can you imagine letting Knox do that now?
No, I'd nervous wreck when I've got him in the Kubota. We'll be working up here at the barn or something. I'll need something and send him back. And I'm a nervous wreck till he gets back.
Yeah.
Just, oh, man, I hope he throws that signal out, or I hope nobody's coming or whatever.
Yeah, but I was.
Kyle gives him direction though, and he takes it because they come by the house, and I was going to flag them in, and I was flagging Knox, and Knox goes, "Yeah, is that on by?"
Shook his head no.
Kyle told him to go to the barn. He was going to the barn. He wasn't stopping.
You just wait till he gets 16.
Yeah.
It leaves that first time in that
Oh, I'm
vehicle.
sure.
Oh,
And
my
he'll
goodness.
understand
Yeah.
why I was
I'm sure.
worried.
Yeah.
And of course, I found out a lot of stuff he did since I listened to the podcast. I thought I had an angel and I didn't. So
It's just for the
Dramatic
draw-
effect.
Yeah, it's trying to draw
Dramatic
listeners.
effects.
A lot of it was just beefed up a little bit.
Dramatic effects. All right, everybody. Thanks for listening.
I really